How many times have you scrolled on YouTube to learn how to start a business, just to end up finding a video that leads you to buy a course, or a course that costs like $1,500? You see, I spent over $5,000 in both courses and books in order to learn how to start a business when I was brand new. And a lot of the knowledge I learned from these courses and these books is knowledge that you can find anywhere, to be honest, for better prices. So I decided that everything that I learned throughout the times, I'm gonna leave it here and I'm gonna teach you it. And I'll link down the canvas below that I use so you can read as you go along with the video, or you can take notes as you go along the video if I'm going too fast. And to do this, I actually invited my friend here who's gonna help me learn. His name is Halal Pikachu. So Halal Pikachu is gonna be helping me learn. So what do you think, Halal Pikachu? Yeah, Marv, start the video. Yeah, let's start the video, like he said. So this is everything that I wrote down, all the notes that I wrote down. And we're gonna be starting off from order. See, I wrote it down from this order, this order. Just follow the lines if you're not gonna tag along. You just wanna learn it on your own. Just make sure to follow the lines so you can learn the lessons the right way. So now let's start off with the beginning. So how to start a business, guide by guide, step by step. So now let's tell you what we're gonna go over first. First, we're gonna go over defining the business idea, then the market research / niche, then the mindset, building a winning business plan, business tax structure, branding, the color psychology, website building, and how to actually market psychologically. So now let's start on with getting / finding the idea for your business. Now, idea generation is basically you find out what type of business you want to run. So there are a lot of choices in businesses that you can run, especially online businesses. You can start that really won't cost you as much as a normal business would. For example, dropshipping is a business model where you can sell like online products by taking them from an outsourcer like Alibaba or AliExpress and hosting them on your website and advertising them and selling them to an audience for a higher price. Or like you can start an e-commerce store if you have an idea for a product you want to make. You can sell that. You can sell that, create it, sell on demand. And you can sell digital products now if you don't want to have inventory or anything. You can sell digital products like info products, ebooks, and all of that on courses. And then you have agency, which was popularized by Iman Gadji, which is basically selling services to other businesses like advertising or anything else, or a local SEO, anything that you can really think of that can be counted as a service for businesses. So now, let's touch on to market research, which is number 2. So for market research, you really need to understand who your audience is and how you can best serve them in their niche and the audience that you actually want to serve. It's best to know who you really want to serve because you can't just serve everyone. If you try to serve everyone, you'll appeal to no one. You have to find a specific group of people that you want to serve. When people buy a product or a service, they're hoping to get certain results out of these 3 submarkets, out of these 3 core markets. So the 3 core markets are relationships, health, and wealth. So these are the main things. People want to make more money. People want to be healthier. And people want to find love. And now there are submarkets. But there are submarkets that go below these main categories, and companies try to create their own submarket. Each submarket plays a major role in helping fulfill one of these 3 main core desires. So let's look at a submarket here. So we have health, we have a submarket like diet or weight loss. So a company would likely create its own submarket. So now after you determine your submarket, you have to find out what type of niche you're going to want. The key here is to create your own niche like the same as a submarket. Or you can enter into an already existing niche, but it's going to be filled with competitors. So that leaves little to market share. You can still do this by joining a niche, but you're still going to make money. Like, I'm not going to say you're not. But you have more chances of making more money when you invent something on your own. Like, think of how Elon Musk created Tesla. He invented his own first product, which is Tesla cars. Or think of any big industry leader, they created their own market. So let's look at let's look at a niche here. So after the submarket, you cut it down and you find what submarket you want to be in. You create a niche below it. A niche is a specific thing. You sell to specific people. The niche is more direct and more specific than a submarket. The submarket is more broader. So let's look at an example of a niche. So first, we're gonna think of that submarket, which is mental health counseling. So now the niche would be something like online mental health for counseling for teenagers with anxiety. So niche, like I said, is a group of people looking for a specific product or service. But for agencies, it would look something like this. Like the broad market, it could be chiropractors. Sub-market, digital marketing for chiropractors. And the niche could be something like local SEO for chiropractors. But you always have to remember, a niche is a group of people looking for a specific product or service to solve one of their three main category problems. I hope it fits in the screen. I'm not sure if it's fitting in the screen, but okay, back on topic. So now research time. Now what you have to do is select a market that you want to be in. After you do that, you have to create an avatar, which is, in other words, the dream customer you want to serve, the dream client or dream customer, anything. The point of knowing your avatar is that it helps you understand who you're selling to and how you can target them effectively. How many? So let's look at this. First, who are you reaching? So these questions right here are questions that you all have to ask yourself in order to know who your target audience is, who your avatar is. The more specific you can answer these questions, the more you'll understand who you're selling to. So take a second to read over it or pause the video to go over it because it's a lot of information. And if you want to just check it out on your own, there's the link below where you can check out this Canva page. But these are all the questions that you should be asking yourself in understanding who your avatar is. Now, the more you know about your avatar, the more you can craft like a compelling product or compelling offer that will appeal specifically to them. Now, after you find that, you have to analyze your competitors if you are in a niche that has people in it, if you haven't created your own. Now, it's best to find out your competitors because then you'll know like what they're doing to attract customers and how they make sales. The more you learn about your competitors, the more you can create something that's better than your competitors and different so you can stand out as a business and attract better and new customers. So now we have to touch on the supply and demand law. You have to understand what supply and demand theory is. But first, let me drink water real quick. So basically what you need to understand for this is as demand for a product increases, you cut the supplies and raise the prices. Now, if the demand decreases, then you increase the supply and lower the prices. Basically, what that means is think about it this way: if you have people that are asking for this product that they want or service that you want, and they want it really bad, you lower down the amount of people you can take in and increase the prices. That's what Nike does with their shoes, or what Apple does. So let's say, for example, Apple releases a new iPhone 16 Pro Max. There's limited supplies for them, but there's a high demand for it. So because there's limited supply and high demand, they increase the prices on those products because people will still want them no matter what. Now, if the phone wasn't really in high demand, then the price would go down and the supply of it will increase. And let me explain to you what the equilibrium point is. The equilibrium point is the perfect area where both the supply and demand meet. It's like the center point of it all. So now that we got that off, let's talk about mindset. But real quick, just make sure you memorize this. This will be really important. Now, if you're starting out a business, how can you actually test this? How can you test whether your product will have that big of an impact? Start by giving it to people. Start by giving it for free to people who need it and see if they like it. And after you get the reviews, you can probably figure out how well it'll be. Then start advertising it. If the demand is high for it, then cut the prices. If the demand is low, then wait, excuse me. If the demand is higher for it, then cut the supply and increase the prices. If the demand is low for it, then decrease the prices, but there will be an increase of supply. So, now mindset. Now, mindset plays a major role in your success, especially in business. You hear it a lot, honestly. If you want to be successful, you need a strong mindset. But why? You see, a strong mindset will help you become successful because it can help you with the setbacks that come with business and the failures of it and all the challenges that come along with it. To do this, we're going to follow the mindset of monk mode popularized by Iman Gadji. I'm pretty sure that most of you would have heard about monk mode by now. Monk mode is basically a mode of extreme discipline where you follow a strict schedule and stay consistent with it without breaking it. It's supposed to make you incredibly productive and be able to get work done in a distraction-free environment. So how do you get in this monk mode? To get in monk mode, you have to set clear schedule for yourself that doesn't contain any distraction and getting rid of the bad habits. So let's look for example, monk mode schedule. You read 20 pages a day. No alcohol or weed. And you exercise for 30 minutes per day and you meditate. Now it could be for 10 minutes. Write down any habits that you really want to get over. And then the point of this is you have to do these constantly no matter what. That is monk mode. Building that strong discipline for that. Now let's talk about something known as distractions. Now you'll have a lot of distractions like checking your texts, DMs, social media, but you have to delete them in order to achieve that. In the book Deep Work by Cal Newport, whenever you check your phone or social media, you break the flow and it'll take you 15 minutes to be able to go back to flow state. Now 15 minutes may not seem a lot, but it is a lot of time if it compounds. Like every second you go to check your phone, you keep adding and adding more time because your phone draws your attention away because you have to concentrate on the type of text you received. Whenever you hear like a notification from your phone or see your phone vibrate, you become curious and start wondering who texted you. Is it important? And checking your phone is really distracting and you need to stay away from that distraction. So real quick before we touch on the next thing, let's talk about what deep work is. Deep work is basically a state of absolute focus and concentration on work without any distractions, just purely work. It looks like I misspelled that. Now, how is it different than monk mode? It's different than monk mode because in deep work, it's times you schedule where you don't do anything. That's like distracting within these times. It's exactly the same as monk mode, except more work focused, more work oriented rather than mindset. Well, it is still mindset oriented. No social media. The big problem with social media is it sets unrealistic expectations. Like the social media apps that you go to, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, any social media platform, Snapchat. Social media is really distracting and filled with like unlimited amount of videos and memes. It is distracting. You can find yourself scrolling for hours aimlessly. With the rise of short form content, your attention span is constantly decreasing. Now, I haven't been able, excuse me, now I haven't been using my social media for the past couple of months. I should deleted all my social media accounts, except I have a YouTube. I don't know if that counts as social media, but I don't think so. And I'm happier than ever, to be honest, than I was. I'm able to concentrate more and focus more on things that actually matter and the things that are genuinely important in my life. Now, because I don't have social media, most of the time is done doing productive things or enjoying the world around me. If you don't use social media for work, like any work purposes, then you just need to delete it. Because if you are using social media for advertising, for a content creation, then what's the point of it? Now, let's touch on something known as flow. You've probably heard of flow before. It's a popular topic. Now, flow is basically a state of mind where someone's absolutely focused and immersed in activity. It's like you're in the zone. You know how they have that feeling where you're in the zone working? That's basically what flow is. This can happen after you do like an activity for a period of time. And when you enter the state, you're absolutely focused. You can get a lot of work done. And this is the state where you get the most amount of work done. The flow state, the state of being in the zone. When you're in the zone, time passes by. You don't even feel it. But you do so much work than more than work than you'd ever do. Now, let's talk about deep work and flow. I found this to be really helpful for me, but when scheduling deep work, aka undisturbed work, and you easily enter flow state, I found that like a combination of those two, you're able to do more work for less time. Now, why is that? So, because when you have no distractions around you, you have no choice but to enter flow state and concentrate on what you're doing. Now, at first, for you, it's gonna be hard because you can be like, nah, I don't wanna do it, or no. I've had that happen before, but you have to stay resilient with it. And once you break that resilience, once you stay resilient with it, then you can enter that flow state. And with the scheduling deep work, like putting on your calendar, works of undisturbed work with no family, no friends, or anything, it makes it a lot easier for you to do a lot of things. Now let's talk about breaks. We all want to take a break from time to time. We all want to take a second to breathe air, a second to a second to walk, a second to go watch YouTube, check your messages. But don't take those distracted breaks. Now, those distracted breaks, like the one I said, like going on social media, going on your phone, or playing video games. But what does really distracted break mean? Like we discussed that those are distracted, but how does that really impact? You see, at some point you need to recover your breaks. You know, you need to recover your flow and avoid getting burnt out. And we take breaks, and you go on your social media and your messages, then those can cause like pro productivity because going back and forth is not gonna make you feel fresh. It's gonna feel more distracted if you go back on social media, and also you're gonna feel fatigue because social media or playing any video games or hard activities will overstimulate your brain. Also, it's gonna have a negative emotional impact. Now, for me, I found this personally is when you look at social media and you look at all of these posts and video, because social media portrays a person's perfect life. You feel like you aren't doing enough, and that just gets in your way. You won't feel as happy working because no matter how hard you work, you're not achieving the results that they have. And that's because they portray the perfect lives on their own social media. And social media also uses a technique called as FOMO. And we'll talk about what FOMO is. But for now, you need to understand it stands for fear of missing out. Now, the type of breaks you should be taking is meditation, walking, stretching, solid exposures. The type of breaks that make you feel refreshed and ready to work after, not the type of breaks that make you feel down. So now that we talked about that, I need to drink more water. So what is FOMO? FOMO is known as the fear of missing out. There are constantly trends and memes that are going around social media. Because you're afraid to miss those out because there could be special offers that are going on social media. You're afraid to miss what your friend texts or the memes they sent. Or you want to stay up with your friends, like to stay in the social circle of understanding what they say. It negatively affects you and your life because you constantly feel like you're behind in life. Now, look at it this way: you go to school, if you go to school, or if you don't, or you go to work, and then your friend or coworker tells you like, "Hey, did you see this meme last night?" Or "Hey, did you see this? Or did you see those brand new Yeezys or brand new shoes?" No, those you're not gonna be like, no. They're gonna be like, "What are you doing?" It's gonna initiate a feeling in you because we wanna belong with other people. We wanna feel like we belong, and because of that, we don't want to miss out on the latest trends. We want to stay up to date with them. So you have to learn that you have to accept that FOMO and the fear of missing out is something that you're gonna have to avoid. You're gonna learn that you're gonna miss out on all those trends if you want to be successful. Now, just a quick extra before we go back onto it. I created pre-existing videos about breaking your bad habits and building good ones. So you can find that here on my YouTube channel. You can click the link here, or you can just look on my YouTube channel. For it's a book I called Atomic Habits that I discussed, and then I also went over the book Discipline, The Power of Discipline, where you can find also on my YouTube channel. Click here for the link, so you can build stronger discipline. And then I also have the book about deep work by Cal Newport. We click the link here, and you can see it as well. I highly recommend that you do check those out because breaking bad habits is not as easy as you might think. Building discipline is not, and deep work is not as easy as you think. It does take a lot of strong mindsets, strong willpower. And the last thing that I actually want to touch on is that you have to keep learning. Continuous learning will help you improve in what you are doing and build more knowledge and power. So always make sure you take the time out of your day to read books or articles that help you learn more. Remember the quote, knowledge is power. Knowledge is the way you can stay ahead of other people. If you stop learning, then you're gonna fall behind. You have to learn the newest things. Oof, and this is the last thing. So now, in your journey of building a stronger mindset or building a business, everyone will think you're dumb. In the world of business, everyone is going to try to bring you down. Your friends, your family, in some cases, your loved one. And because of that, it makes it really hard to actually take risks and go out to follow your dreams. And your quote unquote friends don't really want to see you succeed. Now, most friends will, but others won't. So when you go around telling your friends or telling everyone that you want to start a business and be successful, everyone's gonna look at you and think, "Oh, this guy, he'll never make it," or "He's dumb." What do you do in those situations? If you have friends that are like that, you cut them off. But if you have friends who actually support you, you don't cut them off because those friends will have your back. This is really important, but you have to understand that if you try to bring all your friends, you can't save everyone. Like, if you find people in bad situations or your friends you try to bring on in self improvement and start a business because you think they need it, you convince them to go it. They might acknowledge the fact and tell you, yeah, they do need help fixing their bad habits. They do need help stop drinking and smoking. But then they end up going back to them. These people don't want to be saved. They just want to feel better about themselves. When they say, "Oh yeah, I'm fixing my bad habits," and they still go back to them, they're just doing that because they want to feel better about themselves, like a coping mechanism. You can help people that want to be helped. You can help people that don't want to be helped. But always make sure to remember that. So when you try to help your friends get on self improvement or help your friends start a business, make sure that it's someone that you can help. Because if you can't, then it's the best to cut them off. Now, some things that you have to to accept to be successful is you have to accept the fact that you are going to suck at first. It's not avoidable. In fact, you're going to suck for the next couple of months, even years. It will take you a while before you actually start to see results. And you have to accept that you're going to fail no matter what. That might take you ages to get the results you want. You aren't perfect. The main thing about this, the results are not going to come to you instantly. You have to suffer and go through the trials to get what you want. If it was easy, everyone would be doing this. If it was easy, everyone would be rich. The main thing that you have to focus on is not the result. The results or the reward of the journey, because those won't make you happy. You have to love the journey because you have a long one ahead of you. Because if you don't love the journey, then why are you even on the journey for? Results that won't make you happy? You have to be patient. Like I said, always, always, always make sure you love the journey. Otherwise, you're gonna cause yourself to be sad. So now let's talk about the business planning. In this part, we'll actually discuss the business model, marketing and sales strategies, value ladders, funnels, and value equation, and irresistible offer. So page 59 here that I put is from the book that was meant for me to understand and look where and I can explain it. Now for the business model, the only thing that you really have to do about this part is learn more about your business model, learn about what it is. Now Iman Gaji does an amazing job at breaking them down, the business models, in his video. So go take a second and click on his video and watch it and do more research. You only need to watch 10 minutes of the first video, and the rest of it is just like a sales letter, a sales way of telling you why you should start an agency. Now here you can take a second to look at it and just go click on here the video for his video. This is the thumbnail for the video, so you know what video we're talking about. Now filling the piggy bank. The main thing to really touch on this part is marketing and sales. What it basically is how you plan on getting customer. Now Iman Gaji did touch on it a bit, but I'm going to touch on it in depth. And let's look at the 8 strategies for marketing. Now, this goes back to the video actually. So if you touch on this video, it does go about like the marketing way, and he goes about the marketing way and explains it, but doesn't explain it in depth and fully detailed. And because there is also other ways to do this, it's not really gonna cost you as much as everything here that they say. Just do keep that in mind. But it is good to know it. But before we actually touch on that, you have to understand the difference between a lead and a prospect. This is going to come up a lot. Now, a lead is someone who's shown interest in what you offer or what you sell. They probably shown like a form, an email list, or a newsletter. It's basically someone who gave you their information already. Now, a prospect is someone who qualifies to be a customer, someone who qualifies to be a lead, but they haven't really discovered your product or hasn't engaged with your stuff, and they didn't sign up. Now, it's really, 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 really important that you remember these definitions because they will come up a lot. You're going to hear it all the time in business. Leads, prospects, leads, and prospects. Now, let's look at examples of a lead. A lead is a person who downloads your ebook from your website, putting their email and showing you interest in your content. The prospect is probably someone who goes to your website, is interested, but doesn't really engage with it and give you the information. So now to touch on the 8 marketing strategies, there was this book called 100 Million Leads, and the book was made by Alex Hormozi, and he talks about something called as the core 4, and then the second group, which is the lead getters, which is other ways of like getting leads. The difference is the core 4 is ways of getting your own leads, and the lead getters are people who get you your own people who get you leads. So now, before we actually touch on this part, my computer is about to die. So we're going to take a quick break. So we have something called now is the Four Holy Swords. But that's what I actually like to call them myself. It's a reference to an anime that I really like. So let's talk what that is. So the four holy swords they break down into these four categories. So category number from the people who know you, people who don't know you, and then reaching them one to one private or one to infinity public. So people who know you, if you want to reach the one to one in private, then you do warm outreach. And for people who don't know you, if you want to reach a one to one private, then you do cold outreach. And if you for people who know you and you want to reach like all of them, you do one to infinity public, which is posting free content. And for people who don't know you, you want to reach a lot of them, you run paid ads. That's basically the breakdown of it. That's basically what this is. I just broke it down for you in a simpler manner. So let's talk about the sauce for the pizza. Yum. So let me just check here real quick. For people who don't know you, for people who know you, warm outreach is what you have to do. It's when people who are already familiar with you and you can reach them, like someone you can already reach, someone who already knows you. This is by having their email, their emails, their contacts, their texts, and you reach them from calls, texts, emails, direct messages, and voicemails, and make them an irresistible offer. And irresistible offer is something we'll talk about later. So what is warm outreach if you don't have like any customers at all? That can be your friends, that can be your family, your cousins, your uncles, all of them. There are people that you know them. And now another thing to reach people that you know is posting free content. Basically, you post on social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok to reach more people, to get them introduced to your brand, and to reach and to warm your old audience. This is by showing that your audience that you have an offer going on, getting them to engage with your content, getting them to feel like a part of your company. So now to reach people who don't know you, you do this with cold outreach. This is basically gathering a list of strangers who fit your avatar's description and contacting them via email, phone call, direct messages, SMS, or voicemails. You contact them, you pitch them, you give them your irresistible offer about your product/service to solve the problem that they have. And now the last way is running paid ads. Now running ads on Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube, or any social media platform to reach false prospects who are unfamiliar with you, to introduce them to your brand, and see if they're interested to engage with your content and website. This is honestly the best way to reach a large amount of people and get them introduced to your brand and get them familiar with who you are, what you are, and what you do. So now let's talk about the lead getters. Now the lead getters are customers, affiliates, employees, and agencies. Now basically what this is people who get you leads, where you don't work for the leads for yourself, but people who work for you to give you the leads. Now your customers can refer people that they know and make you more business. So for example, I have an Aura ring, I can refer that to my family because it's such a health benefit to me in tracking my health. And that's basically referring them because I'm a customer. I'm giving them referrals. And because of the referrals, I'm getting them $48 off on the ring when they buy one. When you know someone who is really familiar with you, when you know someone on like a personal basis and they tell you, refer you to something, then you're more likely to check it out and more likely to do business. So try having an offers for them to get your customers to refer you. Now affiliates. This is where a group of people who have social media presence create content advertising your brand. So basically what this is people gather a link from you to sell a certain product. They'll advertise a product and in turn they get commission from the sales they bring in. What that means is more money for you, more new customers, But you do have to spend money on affiliates and getting them on giving them the portion. So, for example, Andrew Tate's course, what's it called? The Real World now. It used to have an affiliates before it was known as that. But affiliates would bring in people and they would collect commission for the monthly subscription. So it will be 49 on your first person that you bring in. You get a 20% the profit of the money they get, and after that you get 10% recurring. Now, employees, there are people who are working in your business. Basically, just like train them to gather leads for you. That way, you can multiply the number of people who gather leads. Of agencies, you can hire different types of agencies. Agencies that gather leads, agencies that run ads, agencies that do cold calling, and you really don't need to train them like you would train in employees because they specialize for this type of work, and this type of work is what they do. But they can be really expensive, but at the same time um they can be really expensive, but at the same time they're really good. Now, one way you can leverage agencies is you can learn from agencies too, because agencies they specialize in this work area, in this industry, in this part. So if you learn from them, you know what the secrets and techniques they're doing, so you can teach your employees that, making it more cheaper for you. Now let me just drink water one more time. Now let's get into the value ladder. I don't know why I paid that twice, but let's get into the value ladder. So this is the value ladder. It was popularized by Russell Brunson. So the point of the value ladder is you have a bait up front, you have a fourth end, then you have a middle, back end, and that's your full ladder. It's the more your customer goes up the ladder, the more money you make. And then after that, they have a continuity program. So the point of the value ladder is to get your customers up there. The more the customer goes up the ladder, the more value they get, and the more expensive it gets. So let's look at the value ladder for dentists real quick. So dentists, they do teeth cleaning, and then they have whitening, and they have retainer, and then they have cosmetics, and then they have 6 months checkups as a continuity. So their value ladder is that, first of all, they clean your teeth, they whiten them, they retain them, and they keep selling you, upselling, and upselling, costing you more money and increasing the value of it. The value ladder is like the journey of your customer from a low price entry offer to a high premium one. The purpose of it is to build a long-term relationship with the customers and gradually offer them more value, increasing their lifetime value. So, like the stages I talked about here, but let's talk about them here. The entry level, which is a low cost or free offering to attract and introduce new customers. This can be like a free ebook you want to give them to download. And then you have the core offerings, which is the main products or service that solves their problem. Then you have the upsells or the cross sells, which is like products or services that like complement the core offerings. And you have a high value, high cost products or services for your most committed customers. So if I were to run an agency right now, I'm making this from my top of my head. An offer like an entry level would be a free ad, free ad content, a free ad audit, I couldn't think of the term. So after they get a free ad audit, I can offer them like a consultation. Then I can offer them advertising. And then I can offer them like a full take business where you advertise for your social media. And for a continuity program where I have to get them to pay monthly, I can give them a software to use. I can use a CRM software, a website software, anything. So what is a continuity program? Continuity programs are business models designed to like generate recurring revenue by securing ongoing customers and subscriptions or memberships. They often involve customers signing up for regular delivery products, access to services, or exclusive content. The best way to structure your offers so that they appeal to your avatar, aka your dream customer. Mhm. This is the best way. Yeah, excuse me. I just kind of zoned out. But yeah, this is the best way. So the continuity program. There are things known as funnels, which are basically a place for your audience to. It shouldn't be called a continuity program. Hold on. There are things that are basically known as uh, a funnel, which is basically a place for your audience to take the first step to engage in your value ladder to enter it. For each stage of the value ladder, there's a funnel for that. I learned from Russell Brunson book.com secrets about each type of sales funnel. This book is a goldmine for understanding funnels and that is mainly used for marketing. I'm not I'm not going to get into them because I'm here to show you the basics of business and this would make things really overwhelming because I believe there's 10 funnels, 10 different types of funnels, and it would make you really overwhelmed and it's not something that you have to worry on in these basics. This is just getting you started for business. Now let's move on to the value equation. This is like the secret sauce you add on your pizza. This is how you get your avatar interested to buy, which will lead them. you To do this the best way, you have to have filled out the form, the paper that I showed you before. You have to have understand who your audience is. So let's look at the value ladder. You have here on top the dream outcome times the perceived likelihood of achievement times time delay divided by time delay time effort and sacrifice, which equals value. The more you can increase the dream outcome, the perceived likelihood of achievement, and decrease the time delay and decrease the effort and sacrifice, the more valuable it is. You have to make sure to add meat for the burger, for it to be a burger. This is a very meaty topic and it's one of the most important things in business. This will guarantee you buying customers and clients. So let's break down the formula that we touched on above to more details. The dream outcome is what person wants to happen to them, the best results your service or product can bring to them, or the problem that's solving. The perceived likelihood of achievement, how likely they think it is for them to achieve their goal, and having some sort of guarantee will reinforce that. How long they believe it will take to achieve the results after buying. Like talk, like think of it this way: how fast are they to get the results? For example, I'm looking forward to buy an ab workout machine. I'm looking for results in the next 7 days at least. That's the time delay. And then the effort and sacrifice, the pain and suffering that they have to endure or they have to give up to achieve their goal. But what we really have to know is people don't like putting in effort and sacrifice. So try to make this as least as you can, those two, the time delay and the effort and sacrifice. Now, using that formula, you can craft your irresistible offer, which is an offer that's so good that they feel stupid saying no. I get that from Alex Hormozy's book, $100 Million Offers. Now, I do want to let you know when I list down a book in the description below, I'm not affiliated in any way, so I don't get any money out of it. So for those of you who think or have come to the conclusion that I'm trying to sell you something, I really don't make money out of it. I'm doing this for free. Look at an irresistible offer. Think of the ab workout machine I just talked about. Your target audience is someone who wants a hot summer, some dude who wants a hot summer body in his 20s. He's lazy, plays video game, and is skinny. So I'll make them an offer something like you'll get 6 packs from a soothing pad in just 14 days without having to do any workouts to go to the gym. So the dream is having 6 packs. The likelihood is the soothing pad, which is on the stomach that'll help them. A time delay is 14 days. If it then sacrifices going to the gym, so they don't have to go to the gym. So we cut that out completely. Remember, your goal is to decrease the bottom two of the formula as much as you can while increasing the top increases the value of your product. Make sure you offer something that is hard to fulfill because the harder it is for you to fulfill, the easier to sell. The easier it is to fulfill, the harder it is to sell. Keep that in mind. It's really important. To make your offer irresistible, add urgency, scarcities, bonuses, and guarantees. That's a lot, but we'll touch on what each one is. So going back to the example, let's make it a better offer. You'll get 6 packs from a soothing pad in just 14 days without having to do any workouts or go to the gym. And if you don't get 6 packs, we will send you $100, refund all your money. You can get 50% off, and you can get it today for 50% off. Today only, but you have to hurry. We only have 10 in stock, and as a bonus, you'll also get 1% off your next purchase if you buy today. I want to add that. Now that's a really good offer. I'd feel stupid saying no to that because who doesn't want a summer body? And hey, if it doesn't work, not only I get all my money back, I also get $100. And if I buy, I get 50% off today. And they also have limited stock, so I have to be hurry about it. And also, if I buy, I also get 25% off the next purchase. Ooh, that's an amazing deal. You know what? Buying click like that. Want them to think that way. Like there's no downside for them, only benefits. So let's talk about scarcities. We have 3 types of scarcities, which is limited supply, seat slots, limited supply bonuses, and never available again. So those are the 3 types of scarcities. The point of it is being limited or they're never coming back again. Once they do that, they have to get them to engage quickly. And then urgency is adding a deadline for it, like it expires today, like what we did before. And then bonus is exactly what it sounds like. Here, there's something as a bonus, like discount products, ebooks, etc. Hello? Okay. So now let's talk about guarantees. Depending on the type of business you run, there are different guarantee choices. So for example, you have unconditional guarantees, which basically means money back guaranteed, no questions asked. And then you have conditional guarantees. You can only return this if, so for example, I buy a shirt. You can only return this shirt if you haven't washed it. You can only return this pillow if you haven't washed it, like that. You have anti-guarantees where all sales are final, no money back. And then you have implied guarantees. These are performance-based offers, so basically, these are basically more for like agencies. What you say is, you don't get paid unless your ads do better than the current ones, kind of like that. So now let's move on to number 5. Who doesn't love taxes? So think about it this thing. So you're at home, you just filed your taxes, but oh no, it just hit level 1 after April 15th, and you're 1 minute, no, not even 1 minute, you're 1 millisecond late to filing your taxes. Oh no, you have a knock on the door. And then the IRS come in and they start beating you up. Like, you should have filed your taxes sooner. You should have done your taxes. Kind of like that, you know? But what I will have to tell you is I'm not a tax expert. So I will teach you what I know, which is the basics. And I'm not going to go really into further details and explain the more meaty topic of taxes because I'm not an expert and I don't want to be held liable for anything because I can't claim I'm a tax expert. I'm just going to teach you the basics of it, the things that you really need to know as part of as of right now. The things you really need to know as a person who's starting their business. So now think of a taco. You're getting the taco ready. You gotta get the taco ready. So now you have to get the taco shell. So your business is a whole taco, okay? And you need a taco shell, something to cover your taco. So you have different types of tacos. You have an LLC, sole proprietorship, corporations, which are C corps and S corps. These are the main ones they really need to know that I'm gonna touch on. However, there are more. You can find them in the article that I listed down below here in the link. So why you need a taco shell? I mean, you can always just eat the meat raw, right? No. You see, you need to have a business structure to actually be able to file your taxes and expenses. Now, if you own a business that is profitable, you're eligible for tax benefits and tax deductions. It comes to the economic status quo. When more businesses rise, that means more jobs and more employed people. So the governments like that. They like that their people are working, the people have jobs. When you have support the economy, governments will like that and will help you, make you eligible to tax benefits. Now you really need to understand your taxes because it's a lifesaver. It'll stop you paying $100,000 on your next tax return to $0. I'm just exaggerating, so don't take it seriously. But no, you can save like a lot of money. So now let's touch on entities for the shells. There is of different types of business registrations known as entities. You can get those entities in order to protect you and your business from lawsuits without hurting your personal profile. It's literally a shell to protect you. It's like I said, a taco shell. Taco. So, understand where your taco is located. A really big thing for me is that if you are making money, don't get one of those business structures because it will be troublesome. And closing a business entity is a long and difficult process. Trust me, I had to do it myself. Now, certain countries have tax forgiveness. For example, the UK has a tax forgiveness for $10,000. So if you make that much, you won't need to pay taxes on it. Unlike the US, where you need to pay taxes for every penny you make. Make sure you know where you're at. But for now, we're going to be talking about the US. Now, I strongly recommend you get an entity if you are making 2,000 plus a month in profit. That's consistent. Most of my audience is from the US, so we'll keep it in the US. So the IRS will eat you alive. Yeah, you heard that right. The IRS will take your business as a hobby if you aren't profitable in the 6 months, I think, and you won't be eligible for taxes. You won't be as eligible for tax deduction. You will be eligible, but not to as many. So how do you make a taco now? A taco shell. Let's define everything. So let's talk about self-employment. Now, a lot of you might think self-employment as a business, but it sounds like you just work for yourself. The IRS views entrepreneurs as both employees and employer, so you pay a lot of taxes. Being self-employed is probably the worst thing you can do. Now you can get an LLC, which is one of the most flexible options for structuring your business. This type of business combines the liability protections of corporations with pass-through tax benefits and flexibility of a sole proprietor. A sole proprietor is an unincorporated business that has one owner who pays income tax on profits earned from business. Now, C Corp, this is just a corporation, but the main thing about it is C Corps are subject to corporate income tax on profits, meaning that the company is taxed as an individual entity and its individual employees and shareholders are taxed on the personal income. S Corps. S Corps are separate legal entities with all the structure and governance of the C Corps entailed, but like sole proprietors and partnerships, C Corps are pass-through entities, enabling shareholders to claim business profits on their income tax. The result, S Corps largely avoids the double taxation of C Corps face. Now, my personal recommendation is if you're starting out as a sole proprietor and LLCs. Now, can you switch from a sole proprietor to an LLC? Yes, you can. You can definitely do that. You can make your business. Because if you start as a sole proprietor, that's really good. But I like starting as an LLC. That's my personal preference. Now let's talk about the cash flow quadrant. People on the left here, the employee and the self-employed, they pay the most amount of taxes. Now the business owners and investors, they pay the least amount of taxes. Let's always keep in mind to document your taxes. Now, the meat inside the taco. The main thing I want to explain in this is that anything you can spend that goes towards your business can count as a tax deductible. Say, for example, you eat it with a business owner. As long as you guys talk business, tax deduct. As long as you guys talk business, you can deduct those taxes, but make sure to keep track of the IRS. As long as there is business involved, it can be deducted. Make sure to never lie to the IRS, or you will be in huge problem. My recommendation, if you're starting out with tax, you get these 3 books. They'll teach you a lot about tax, a lot better than I can. So these are the books. Tax-Free Wealth: How to Build a Massive Wealth by Permanently Lowering Your Taxes. The Tax Legal Playbook: The Game-Changing Solutions to Your Small Business. Tax Strategies for High Net Worth Individuals. Now, each one of these is a link you can click on to lead you to an Amazon, and as I said before, I'm not affiliated with anything, so I don't make any money off of it. I don't get any benefit off of it, but I just want to show you it. Now, branding. Wait, I remember you. Are you that guy? Look at these photos. Tell me, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Nike? Rolls Royce? Why? No, they don't have no name. No name? I don't know why I sport with no logo, but they don't have the name written down below, but it's just the logo. Yet people still recognize them. That's because they're branding. Branding is your identity for the business. There are 2 types of brandings. The 2 types of brandings I'm going to touch on is personal branding. This is where your brand revolves around you and your identity. Look at Iman Gashi. His audience is based around his personal brand. Now, business branding. This is creating an identity for your company. Look at Nike's branding. Just do it. The purpose. God, I'm getting really sweaty, but purpose is to help your customers understand what you offer and what you stand for. The way you and your business carry yourself is a major decision on whether or not people want to do business with you. Now, how do you brand? Consistency with identity. Presenting a consistent image and a message across all brand touchpoints reinforces your brand identity. It helps build trust, recognition among your audience. Consistency in brand colors, fonts, imagery, and in messaging creates a cohesive brand identity that's easily more memorable. Those are the brand elements. They're the brand vision and message. Just like Nike, just do it! Clearly articulating your brand's vision, values, and message can help you align with what your brand stands for, making more authentic and making it more to your audience they can connect for. Now keep that in the back of your mind. Now, what do you want to be known as? When people look at your logo, what is the first thing that you want them to think? Now, chapter 7, which is colors. For the most part, you might think it's just something used to look nice, alright? Well, that's true, but you see, there is more to it. Behind every color is a psychological reason. Believe it or not, looking at certain colors can determine or select your mood. It's crazy. How just looking at your color can just make you feel. So selecting colors for your brand and logo is really important. And let's talk about it. So let's look at these examples first. So we have Coca-Cola, whose main color is red, which stands for passion, love, power, confidence. The Nickelodeon, which is orange, trust, energy, and optimism. Hold on, I'm taking off my jacket. Give me 1 second. Now, all these companies they use brand colors. So make sure that you understand what type of colors and the type of colors they have the impact on each one's mood. So you see this era where colors used to make you feel a certain way or think something especially think of something, especially in movies. I did a lot of studying about movies. Colors play a major role in effective storytelling. Now let's touch on the psychology behind every color, but keep this in mind. When selecting color, make sure it is consistent with your brand identity. So we have here red, action, passion, energy, excitement, strength, friendship, love. Orange, optimism, all that. You can read all that on your own time, but because I'm not going to read over it now, just make sure to read all of it because these are just moods that the colors make you feel. Can you use more than one color? Yes, you can. We have to choose the right color scheme for it. What a person like is selecting two colors, a primary color and a secondary color. And the colors black and white and shades of gray in order to add that elegant look to it. And those don't really affect your color scheme. Let's talk about the balanced color scheme. Balanced color schemes are often used in movies and they're your best friend. Balanced color schemes refers to harmonious relationship of colors on a color wheel. Color schemes. So actually here real quick I added an image of like this to understand what the colors on the color wheel. Now let's go back to this. Balanced color schemes. So we have monochromatic, analogous, complementary, and triadic. Now monochromatic. Monochromatic color schemes come in shades of a single color. They create a deeply harmonious feeling that is soft, loving, and soothing. Now complementary colors. A contrasting drama, which is like cool or warm. They create like colors live opposite of each other on the color wheel. Dueling colors are often associated with conflict or whether it's inner or existential. Now analogous. Analogous colors neighbor each other on the color wheel. Since the colors don't have a contrast tension of the complementary colors, they create an overall harmonious feeling or soothing viewing experience. Now triadic. Now the vibrant, colorful triadic colors are three colors arranged evenly spaced around the color wheel. One of the colors should be dominant and the others would be accented. Now we talked about everything about colors. Let's switch on the next one. Now that we have broken down branding, it's time to use what you learned to build a website. If you aren't sure what a website is, it's a website page where you go to that contains information about a business and its products or services so you can learn more about what you're getting yourself into. So how do you build a website? To build a website, you're going to have to get a domain. So after you decide on the type of branding you are going for, the colors make sure to stay consistent with your branding and logo, with your website and logo. Now I use Google Workspace to register my domain and business email. And to verify my business domain, I use DNS Simple that is host the domain connected today to the software I use. Now the softwares that I like to use will vary for you guys. So for my preferences for local businesses, agencies that sell local SEO, any of those stuff, I recommend going for high level where you need the CRM for them. It also has funnels, website, and all of that. Now for agencies that want to sell e-commerce or for e-commerce businesses that want to create funnels, I recommend ClickFunnels. So this is the best way to email marketing, digital products, and info products. For e-commerce businesses selling physical products or dropshipping, you go on Shopify. Now, for e-commerce businesses, you might have to use click funnels. So you can create a funnel in order to sell your audience. Now that you built a home, look for competitors that are in your niche and look at their website to see how and what they're doing and how well formed. Do not copy them, but take inspiration from them. We're almost done. See? We're almost there. You guys are really close. Brains! Yum! Now, the psychology behind marketing. The biggest mistake, a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, make the mistake of like trying to sell their audience logically. Which, don't get me wrong, is still worse, but it's not as effective as you might think. In this new era right now, this generation is the new way of selling is psychological. The point of it is to focus on selling your audience emotionally than selling them logically. We humans are really advanced, and the hard truth is, as hard as we think we're logical, we're still emotional beings. As for most of us, our emotions get the best of us. If you have been doing activities while learning, then it should be easy for you to find. If you haven't, if you did the activities that we've been doing so far, it should be easy for you to find out your audience's emotional triggers. Emotional triggers play a significant role in decision making. Marketers use emotional triggers such as happiness, fear, or sadness, or excitement to create like a feeling with your audience to get them to buy. Now, last thing I want to touch on is employees. You really shouldn't be looking for employees to do things for you. It's better to learn the skill yourself. But if you have money to throw around, I guess you can hire employees. Don't hire full time, just outsource it to people on Upwork. Now, one recommendation I have with employees is you can also learn from employees. So if you decide to outsource it or learn, you can learn from them and see what they're doing. Now, congratulations. If you have made it this far, you're done. Now you know all the basics of running a business and you're ready to put, and you're ready. This will put you definitely ahead of everyone. Not even for most courses that I actually learned from, they don't touch on any of this stuff. So I had to learn like everything on my own. I had to gather everything. So what I did is I added everything that I learned for you guys here. And I hope you enjoyed this, and this will be down in the description below so you can check this out on your own time if you want to look back at it. And you can download it for free by going up here to the share. You click here, download. So, thank you for staying this long if you have stayed for this long.